Hey, it's Lynn Brown. I'm a speaker, trainer, and coach with the John Maxwell team. I spent the first half of my life people pleasing, and that's overrated. And then in my spare time, I was trapped. I was literally trapped by the opinions of others. And then one day, I took a step in the direction of my dreams, and I was willing to bet on myself for the first time. When I changed the way I looked at things, the things I looked at changed. Wayne Dyer was right. I had seen that quote for years. But when I applied it to my life and I took action, things began to change. And now I've committed the rest of my life to partnering with people who want to become the best versions of themselves. And no, not for any selfish reasons or worldly gain, but we were created to bring light into this dark world. The world needs us at our best. So today we're going to talk about what we do when we're stuck. And trust me, I spent the first half of my life stuck, and stuck stinks. And I'm not saying I was raised in a bad home. I had a wonderful home. I was raised in a church. But like I've said before, you can hear the word, you can read a quote, you can read a book, you can go to a conference, you can have people tell you things, but until you dig down and you begin to believe that truth for you, nothing will ever change. It's just like if I go sit in a garage right now, it doesn't make me a car. And you're not going to believe this just by hearing it. It takes more than that. You have to believe it. So today we're going to just take a little deeper dive into what happens when we're stuck. And stuff, stuck stinks. We know that. It's so funny, even to this day. And I'm a coach and trainer. I am immersed right now in a growth environment. I have been for the last now going on 6 years. I'm all in. Every day is a new adventure. But still, to this day, when I see somebody who's lost weight, I can't help but ask, how did you do it? Now, you know good and well, I know what they did to lose the weight, to get into shape. But I have to ask, how'd you do it? Now, seriously. Don't we know already that the answers to the questions we ask? But oftentimes, we're just, I think in life, given facts and not really taught how to think into it. We just want the hacks. We want the shortcuts, and there are none. Everything worth having is uphill. I hate to break that to you if you hadn't heard that before, but everything's going to happen out of your comfort zone, and it's all uphill. So let's really think about this knowing versus doing thing. Simple example. Hanging up clothes instead of tossing them on the end of the bed or in your chair. You know that chair in your room? Or even making your bed. We know that if we do these things daily, our room will be neater. But what stops us from doing that? Oftentimes, it's the messages that we are telling ourselves. Maybe we're running late, which is a whole nother training for another day. But what are the things that stop us from doing those little things? Let me ask you something. Have you ever written down what you wanted to manifest in your life? Now, this is no, example to make you feel bad. I don't want you to feel bad. Only 3% of the people do it. So that should make you feel better. And I was one of those people in the other category. I never wrote down anything that I wanted to see in my life. I never took the time. Honestly, I didn't believe that things were going to change. So why do that? It's why I didn't study in school, because I thought, well, it's not going to change the results. So why bother? So I'll just, I would just clown more. So I clowned more. I didn't study because why bother? But let's take this for example, being organized and living a life free of clutter. Have you written that down? It sounds so easy, doesn't it? But we know the easy things to do are also the easy things not to do. Trust me, for the first half of my life, that's where I was living. And it is not a happy place to live. So here's a perfect example, just from the recent Super Bowl. Demi, she sang the national anthem at the Super Bowl. But what was so interesting is that she had written this down and said it 10 years ago to the date that she wanted to sing the national anthem at the Super Bowl. That's an example. Just one example. So what do you want to see happen in your life? And if we had time today to go into it, I could go over the list of things I've been writing over the last year and the things that have already happened in my life in the last 365 days. But let's talk about you. Let's stay focused here. We want to talk about creating these new habits and moving from knowing what to do and doing the thing. Goal setting is so much more than just dreaming about that desired state in your life. It's more than, getting the little cookie at Panda Express that says, "Oh, great things are coming to you." It's just more than that. The work in the middle is the messy part. Right now, where I am right now in my life, it's the messy part. Because doors, keep closing and doors keep opening, and one day doesn't necessarily look like the next day, and it's messy, but this is also where the magic is. And it's not so much about just nailing the goal and going, woo, I made it. I ran the, marathon, or hit the financial goal, or the weight goal, or the relationship goal, or bought the new house, or whatever, got a divorce. I don't know what your thing is, but it's more about who we become in this process. And y'all, I'm going to tell you, it's going to take sacrifice. You got to have some sweat equity in this thing. You're going to be scarred up. You're going to have dents in your fenders and nicks in your jeans, just like that song, But oftentimes when we fail on reaching our target, it's not that we're failures. It's just that there was a lack of clarity on the front end. We don't really think about all the things like getting up early to begin work on your goal, or missing the girls' trip because of a deadline, or missing 2 girls' trips because of a deadline. We don't think about having to stay up late and giving up me time. It's going to take more than just a sticky note on your mirror. Now, don't get me wrong, because I have sticky notes everywhere, in my car, in the fridge, in my purse, inside my closet. I have one under, by my bed. I love sticky notes on the mirrors, but it's just going to take more than that. You got to stay laser focused. And that means in the good times, when your favorite song is playing and, whatever it is, you got your Ruffles potato chips you're munching on and you feel so happy, and, I don't know, but it's going to be, you're going to have to be laser focused in the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. When you feel like it, when you have a headache, when it's raining or cold, or when you want to go to the beach, whatever. But today you took action. You tuned into the podcast. So well done you. And don't just skip over that. You did this. You traded less than 15 minutes of your life today to be on this podcast. And again, it takes more than just listening in too. You got to take action. So I really want to challenge you. Maybe there's one thing you heard in here today. Just one thing. Maybe it's writing a sticky note and put it on your mirror of your goal. I don't know. But well done. And just take that one thing and put it into action. And maybe share it with somebody. Because that's what leaders do. And we are all leaders. Yes, I'm a leader too. Even though nobody ever told me that until 5 years ago. I am a leader. So I want you to share something from this podcast today with somebody else. Who are you mentoring? Who are you adding value to? Y'all, you got to give it your all. Your dream needs all of you. And honestly, if we really get to that place where we truly believe everything God says about us, we will be unstoppable. We will be bulletproof. I've shared in recent habits about my new Navy SEAL mom inspired habit. Since April 13th, when my son left for officer training, I decided, okay, well, he's going to be going through all this rigorous training. It's time for you to also, Lynn. So I did. I've been making my bed. Now I'm on like 280 something days, I think. Also in the area of health and losing weight. I just over the last several months have achieved a great goal. But you got to think about what it is that's going to get you to where you're going. You got to plan ahead. Yes, in the health arena, calorie intake matters, but what you believe about your ability to succeed there matters more. When I realized that my limiting beliefs and the messaging, that story that was playing over and over in my head was actually sabotaging my life, I began to focus my energy and my thoughts on what I was actually thinking. Honestly, by speaking what you want in your life and writing it down, something shifts. You're making a way for it to begin to happen. It's kind of like a pathway, so to speak. It's like you're creating a new neural pathway. Your brain, it's like the interstate that you travel on to get to where you're going out there in everyday life, the roads you travel on. Your brain is the same way. And some of us need to plow through some new ground and pave some new roads because we've been believing a bogus story. BS, bogus story. You have to make a way for it to happen. I mean, I used to grow up hearing, let's talk sweet. And then later, even later in church, I'd hear messages like, no, be still, be quiet. And then I'd hear scripture verses, you have so much power in what you say. Be careful what you say and all that. But until I began to believe it for me, for Lynn, nothing changed. So let me ask you, do you truly believe what your Creator says about you? What would change in your life? Would results change? Would your attitude change? Would your anxiety change? Would your worry meter go down? I used to be the biggest worry wart. I'd worry about the weather. I would worry about my friends. I would worry about if my shoes were as cool as my other friends' shoes. But why would our Creator design us to do extraordinary things with our life and then limit us in the area of health or finances or broken dreams or failed relationships or anxiety? There's a way out. And Gritty Sisters, the way out is through. And you have to take a step. And it takes action. Wishing and hoping and begging God will not do it. I hate to tell you. It's daily. It's daily writing. It's establishing disciplines. Creating new habits will destroy the old. And let's focus on creating the new rather than focus on the old. I hear so many people just trapped in the past. Yesterday's gone. It's over. Not coming back. Done. So what matters is that you keep moving forward. We got to make forward progress into bigger and better thinking. Be courageous with your life. Letting go of people think, y'all, that is the number one thing that it was the biggest game changer for me. You be the one. Show the people that are critical. The ones in the cheap seats. Those out there that don't even have a ticket really to get close to the ring. They're nowhere near the ring. They're not in the fight like you are and like I am, getting blood and sweat and being told no and blah, 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 blah. They're not even in the ring. They're in the cheap seats. You know what? Their opinion doesn't matter. I love Brene Brown. That's what she's taught me. Those opinions of those people do not matter. But for so long, I was trapped by those opinions of other people. And y'all, this isn't for wimps. I've said that before, and it's not. It's for gritty women that want more in their life. I mean, I just got a huge door slammed in my face. It was big. But guess what? I'm moving forward, and I'm looking forward to the door that's going to open next. When life shows up and slams the door, it's not over. You reset. You're not a loser. You take the next step. Oftentimes, the smallest hinges open the biggest doors. So don't let fear and scarcity and change and something new cloud your thinking. If you keep your dreams written and in front of you, and you begin that practice of daily gratitude, I know some of you are getting around to it. I know you are, but maybe today's the day. Just start with 5 things. Y'all, this last week I had 3 different people say to me that they had started writing the daily gratitude, that they were creating that new habit, and they had seen a shift, a paradigm shift. So close the Ben and Jerry's, go take a walk, whatever it takes. Write down 5 things, or 1 thing if you can't think of 5 that you're thankful for. I want you this week to live intentional. Don't hold yourself back anymore, y'all. It doesn't matter if you don't see the whole plan. Who does? The people that say they have the whole plan, I'm sorry, they're not telling the truth. But start with what you can do. Everybody sits around and talks about, well, I can't do it because this, that, and that. What can you do? And I have gone over the 15-minute mark, but I'm just on fire this morning, so I'm going to keep going for another minute. So y'all can get off or you can stay on here with me, but I'm going on for another minute. So don't hold yourself back. Y'all, yesterday I wrote down, no lie, that the first time ever that we're going to build a home for a single mom. First thing people said to me was, how are you going to do that? Do you know how much that cost? And my reply is, I have no clue. So this morning I called Habitat for Humanity. That door closed. Well, guess what? I'll either start one in our city or I'll go find out something else, but I'll keep knocking. The world needs you at your best. We're going to keep talking about our attitude and how our thinking impacts our areas. And trust me on this, y'all. I promise you, if I can, you can. If I can change the limiting beliefs that I had, I was so broken. And if I can change those thoughts and begin to believe in who I was created to be, you can too. Keep knocking on the doors. Y'all choose courage over comparison. And you know what? Gritty is going to look so gorgeous on you. I believe in you and in the power of your dreams, and I look forward to seeing you next week.